Okay, we're here with Stephen Harris, and Mr. Harris is a consultant and expert in the energy field. He studies and instructs on hydrogen, biomass, solar, wind, ethanol, fuel cells. He's consulted for clients as large as the Department of Defense, and he also does stuff as small as individual family emergency preparedness plans. Are you there with us, Stephen?
Yeah, I'm here. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. Um, First of all, we want to get to the why. Why are we doing this? What is the purpose? Why is it so vitally important that people understand they need to store energy for emergencies?
Why do you need energy in an emergency? That's easy because everything you have just became useless. Your cell phone became useless. Your refrigerator became useless. Your TV, your radio, everything that you had that was useful that you were depending upon now became completely useless and a hunk of plastic that is absolutely no good to you. So if you can provide energy to those things, they now become useful again to you.
Okay, so you said something the other day when we were talking about communication is life, and you said that cell phones go dead. That's kind of a no-brainer, but I don't think a lot of people think of that because they're so familiar with cell phones just being there on their hip all the time. Can you go into a little bit more about the communication is life? Give us an
Well,
example of that.
communications is life to the point that you're stuck in a disaster like Hurricane Sandy. And the thing that's been proven by Hurricane Sandy is that the laws that were enacted after 9/11 have taken effect, and all the cell phone towers have very significant battery and power backup to them. 97.6% of all cell phone towers in Hurricane Sandy were operational. So you got your
Okay.
cell phone on your hip, and now that you got your cell phone in your, it's probably a smartphone with data, you can get weather maps, you can Google things, you can find out where the nearest FEMA shelter is, you can call your relatives, say I'm okay, or like I'm stuck here, I need some help, I need you to come pick me up. Communications is what brings in help and resources to you beyond yourself. Without a cell phone or other form of communications, the best you can do is holler and scream, and that's it. But with a cell phone, you can call me and say, "Hey, Steve, I'm over here, and I got a flat tire, and I need to get home, and I'm low on gas, and I can be right over there, and I can help you."
Okay.
If you don't have power for your cell phone, and then that's the same thing.
So
If you don't have,
it's deeper than just being a device that somebody would talk to somebody on. You can do, like you said, research where shelters are, where you are in a storm, what the weather is going to be like. It's more than just the communication itself. It's knowledge of the situation, situational awareness.
it's real time knowledge and real time situational awareness is what a smartphone gets you. And these things are power hungry. And if you don't have a way of powering your phone during a disaster, you are going to be left with a hunk of plastic that won't be able to do any of these things for you.
Okay, and that gets to my next main question. Um, Getting power. How do we store power? And I know that a lot of people, at least in my experience that I've talked to, they see energy preparation as this big problem to solve. They look at it as a whole problem. And I was kind of hoping that we could start out today with this interview talking a little bit about what can every person do. What is that first baby step towards not making it a big problem, but chunking it down into smaller things we can do? Where do we start?
Oh, it's easy. It's your car. It's parked in your driveway and it's a $30,000 generator. You already got it. You already own it. It sits there. It produces electricity on a very regular basis. Your tank is full of gasoline. It'll sit there and idle for a couple days if you need to idle it. And you can plug in your cell phone into your car and charge it up. But what's more important is you can go to Walmart, get yourself a $20 inverter, which is something you plug into your cigarette lighter or clamp on the battery, and it converts 12 volts DC into 120 volts AC. Then you can now take this, put an extension cord on it, run it into your house, put an outlet strip on it. You can plug in your cell phone, you can plug in your iPad, you can plug in your Game Boy, you can run a small TV off of it, you can recharge AA batteries off of it, so you can run those AA batteries in your flashlights and your headlamps. So now off of your car, you got an infinite supply of light inside the house, you got an infinite supply of communications inside the house, It starts making everything that was useless back into being useful again. Now, don't think this little $20, 100-watt, 150-watt inverter in your car is a lightsaber. It's not going to power your entire house. It's not going to power your refrigerator, your freezer, and everything else. I cover this in explicit detail. I have a complete class called How to Power Your House from Your Car with an Inverter.
Hmm.
And that's at the www.solar1234.com website, which is my radio show website. You can go there, you can tap on the show and listen to it instantly on your smartphone or on your computer.
And
And so
it's
I
free.
cover. It's free. It's completely free. No sign up, no nothing. Just go there and say tap here, and it'll start streaming to your phone or your computer instantly. And I walk you through everything. And with the little inverter, now you got some compact fluorescent or LED lights. You can have plenty of light in a room. I mean, a little 2-watt or 4-watt LED light bulb will give you more light than a Coleman lantern would inside a room, and that little light bulb will draw nothing for power off of your car battery. You could let it run all night and then just go start your car in the morning and let it idle for a half hour to replace energy and then turn it off. So
Okay.
your car is your number one go-to source for the number one step in repowering the things in your house that you need during a blackout or a disaster, an earthquake, hurricane, etc. It starts making those things that became useless useful again and again. It's called an inverter. Inverter. They're at Walmart. They're at Sam's Club. No, they're not at Sam's Club now. They're at Target. They're at Sears. They're at the AutoZone and Pep Boys. They all have inverters, and they come in different sizes. But basically, start off with a simple one that plugs into your cigarette lighter. Run an extension cord into your house and run little things off of it. Small TVs, not your 42-inch screen, your laptop computer, your cell phone, your internet, your cell phone internet connected iPad, so you can get information, so you can call others, so you can listen to the radio. Recharge AA batteries. You want to recharge AA nickel metal hydride pre-charged batteries are the best nickel metal hydride technology. But if you can recharge AA batteries, man, you can now run flashlights, headlamps, anything else that you want to make your life a lot more comfortable in a disaster. Otherwise, you're sitting in the cold, dark, and you're suffering, and you might be able to light a candle.
Right. Okay. So first we've got the inverter, which like you said is as simple as you plug it in your cigarette lighter. You don't have to know how to wire anything. You don't have to know anything about electrical circuits in the car. You simply buy the low cost one that plugs in the cigarette lighter, and that comes out and charges batteries. So we want to get rechargeable batteries, and like you said, nickel metal hydride, or what are they? NIMH is the designation on the battery.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
Okay, and
And
then that would go with keeping gas in the tank too, because you can't run the car if you don't have gas in the tank.
well, I got an entire class on fuel and fuel storage, and I tell you the best way to store fuel inside your garage or outside your house that you never thought of or knew of. There are better ways than 5-gallon red cans, and I tell you how to do that. And I tell you the best ways to do it with 5-gallon red cans if you want to as well. That's at solar1234.com as well. If you want to know the best charger and best AA nickel metal hydride batteries, those are at the same website. I enable you, which means I just don't educate you and tell you. I show you how to do it, and then I tell you where to get the things that you need to do it, so you can, okay, I know this, I understand it, I've seen you do it, and now I know where to go get these things, so now I can reproduce what you just taught me. Now I am enabled.
Okay, so I would actually say that the first little step that a person could do is to go to your website and just look. Simple as that. Look at what you have available for people out there, because it sounds to me like there's no reason why we shouldn't be doing something to take us from unprepared, completely unready for an issue where you might have an ice storm, a hailstorm that knocks the power out, high wind in the spring. That can happen in any part of the country. Have a step and at least complete that first step. And that's
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a saying, if you are not prepared, you are already dead. And that's a little bit extreme for this conversation, but if you
right.
are not prepared, you are already going to be a victim. Okay. And your levels of preparedness help allow you to prevent yourself from being a victim from all of the little things that are going to get you when a blackout happens. Look at the people standing in line for gas during Hurricane Sandy.
Hmm.
Okay. Fist fights breaking out, 3 mile long lines for cars,
Right.
1,000 foot line for people standing in line for gasoline with 5 gallon cans. I mean, there is no reason why that had to happen. It all
Right.
takes a little bit of preparedness, and it is your responsibility and your duty to yourself, to your spouse, and to your children, and to your family, and your friends, and your neighbors for you to be basically prepared so you can take care of yourself and then you can also help them.
Right. I always believe you always bring enough to share. And you said something yesterday when we talked earlier that it's always easier to feed your neighbor than shoot your neighbor. There's no reason to have a conflict. If you prepare a little bit, you take care of your needs, and then you can help them meet theirs.
Yeah, I got a little famous for that quote, saying it's
That's
easier to feed your neighbor than it is to shoot them. And
absolutely.
I've been quoted around a lot of different places with that. And I mean, it's real simple. It's just a little bit of something for your neighbor. I mean, even if it's rice and beans, if they don't want it on day one, they'll be back on day two and say, "Hey, could I have some more of those rice and beans you offered?"
Absolutely.
They will
Uh,
take it.
Now, I'd like to take just a moment and kind of segue over to water. Water is the other essential that if you don't have water, you don't have very long. What can you get us going on a first step for storing water?
Water, well, that's pretty easy, especially if you drink soda. Okay, whether you drink soda out of 2 liter bottles or half-liter bottles, what you do is you drink it, you save the bottle. When you get time that day or next day, you take it and you wash it out with tap water once or twice. You fill it up with tap water and you put it on your shelf. Water is basically over 5 billion years old. All the water on this planet came from comets, and the Earth is 5 billion years old. The comets are up to 12 billion years old. That water you're putting in that bottle on your shelf is not going to spoil anytime soon. In fact, it's not going to spoil at all. So you
Mhm.
don't about rotating your water. You don't need to worry about the date or anything else. Take your soda bottle, wash it out with clean cold water from your tap, whether it's well water or city water, it doesn't matter. Fill up that bottle and put it on your shelf. You now have water under your control when you need it. It is yours. You can go and get it anytime you want and use it to clean up, to cook with, or to just to drink straight from the bottle. And it is the little raindrops that fill up your bucket that you get every day. It's not the thunderstorm that comes by that fills up your bucket with your preparedness needs.
Mhm.
So you filling up a soda bottle every day, every other day is your little raindrops of preparedness into your bucket of preparedness, and pretty soon you'll have a shelf full of water. And I guarantee you that is a lot more water than your neighbors have. And if there is one thing that is foreign to Americans and will bring a bad look on your face, that's going to your tap and turning on your tap and like no water's coming out. You'll
Right?
sit there, turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. Look, it ain't coming. And if you don't have it before the storm, you are not going to get it during or after the storm.
Right. I agree. I think that the pre part of prepare is what makes it most effective. And we certainly appreciate a couple little steps here. Where can people find more information about this? Give us a couple ideas on where we can find you and find this information.
My number one website that I'll send everyone to that has all the information on what I'm doing on different radio shows and podcasts is www.solar, SOLAR, 1234.com. And you can go there and it'll link you to all of our free resources, all of our free classes. Click here to listen. We have complete lists of everything that I own and I use. I have proven, I have bulletproofed, been using for 6 months to 6 years, that are all of our favorite things that we guarantee are going to help you. And we just have a list of them, and you can go get it. Well, I say go get this at Walmart, get this at Radio Shack, get this at Target,
Hmm.
and or get this from Amazon.com. And so I am about enabling you, and that's what solar1234.com does. It will enable you to help yourself and help your family, and for you to put that pre into prepared.
Well, we certainly thank you very much, Stephen, for helping us to get us a little direction on where we can go to take those first steps. And then I would encourage everybody to take the next step. Once you've got one tackled, go to the next one. And like Stephen said earlier, just a few steps, a little bit at a time, over time, is going to put you in a much better situation in any kind of emergency that could be expected. It's something that happens day to day. So,
Yep, and I have a whole family preparedness class at that website. So
yes.
it's not just energy. I got a complete family preparedness class from soup to nuts, water, you name it. I cover it. It's nothing fancy. Everything's from your local grocery store. In fact, I'll have you making emergency bread in about 30 seconds.
Right on. Well, that's cool. Well, again, thank you very much for being with us today. I look forward to looking at material myself a little bit more. I'm interested in doing the bread in the dryer. So, um, again, thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks so much, Joe.
Okay,
I look forward to your publication.
thanks.